Welcome to NIOS. Today we will study lesson number 7. The title of the lesson is Indian Languages and Literature. This is the second part. In the previous video, we discussed about the importance and role of Sanskrit language. We also came to know about the development of 4 South Indian languages. These 4 languages were: first was Tamil, second was Telugu, third was Kannada, fourth was Malayalam. In today's video, we will learn about the development of modern Indian languages. We will also try to understand about the literature of various Indian languages. Learners, we will start by understanding about the North Indian languages and literature. We know that all the scripts of North Indian languages have been born from Brahmi. As far as spoken language is concerned, more than 200 languages are spoken in India, and a large number of people speak Hindi in India. However, different forms of Hindi are spoken in various parts of North India, like Braj Bhasha is spoken in Braj area of Uttar Pradesh. Another language, Awadhi, is spoken in Awadh area. Also, other languages like Bhojpuri, Magadhi, Maithili, and Rajasthani are other forms of Hindi. Khadi Boli is also the most popular form of Hindi, which is spoken around Delhi. Two famous poets, first was Surdas and the second was Bihari. These are from Braj Bhasha. Another poet, Tulsi Das, he wrote Ramcharitmanas. In Awadhi language. Learners, as use of Sanskrit language decreased, many new regional languages became popular. like Hindi, Bengali, Assamese, Odia language, Marathi, and Gujarati. Learners, do you know that Prithvi Raj Raso this is the first book written in Hindi language. Poet Tulsi Das, who wrote Ramacharitmanas based on Valmiki's Ramayana. Other important writers of Hindi language and its different forms were Kabir, Surdas, and Mirabai. Swami Dayanand Saraswati, he wrote Satyarth Prakash. This is his most important work in Hindi language. Learners, now we will talk about Urdu and Persian language. Urdu language was born as a result of mixture between Hindi and Persian language. Persian is the script of Urdu language. A different form of Urdu developed in South India is called as Dakkani. Urdu became popular during the rule of the Mughal rulers. The last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, he wrote poetry in Urdu language. Amir Khusro, he was famous poet of Urdu. He wrote Laila Majnu. Some other famous Urdu poets were Ghalib, Zauq, and Iqbal. Mughal rulers were great supporters of education. Therefore, development took place in the field of literature during this period. Mughal rulers Babur wrote his autobiography called Tuzuk-i-Baburi. In Turkish language. while his grandson Jahangir, he wrote his autobiography in Persian language. Other important writers of Persian languages were Abul Fazl and Faizi. Learners, now we will talk about development of Hindi language in modern period. There have been many great writers in Hindi language like Bharatendu Harishchandra, another writer Mahavira Prasad Dwivedi, and Ramchandra Shukla. While there have been many great poets like Sumitra Nandan Pant, Suryakant Tripathi, he is also known as Nirala, and Mahadevi Verma. Few other famous novel writers were Premchand and Vrindavan Lal Verma. Learners, great development took place in the field of regional languages like Bengali, Assami, and Oriya. An Englishman named William Carey he published an English Bengali dictionary. In the year 1857, 3 universities were established at Calcutta, another was at Madras, and another one was at Mumbai. This led to the development of education in the country. Some famous writers of Bengali language were Raja Ram Mohan Roy, another was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, and Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Ravindranath Tagore was the most famous Bengali writer. He wrote many novels, dramas, short stories. Rabindranath Tagore won the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1913 for his poem Geetanjali. The greatest writer of Assamese language was Shankara Deva. While Fakir Mohan Senapati and Radhanath Ray helped in the development of Oriya literature. Punjabi and Rajasthani literature, learners, do you know that the Punjabi language is written in two scripts? Gurumukhi and Persian. Poetry of Sikh Gurus is included in Guru Granth Sahib, Waris Shah was an important poet of Punjab. Bulle Shah was a Sufi saint. He has written a large number of songs. He wrote songs called Kafi. Rajasthani is an important local form of Hindi. Which is spoken in Rajasthan. Mirabai was a great poet of Rajasthani language. She has written poems in praise of Lord Krishna. Learners, let us now study about the Marathi literature. Saint Gyaneshwar was a great Marathi writer. Other important Marathi writers were Namadev, Gora, Sena, Janabai and Eknath. However, Tukarama was the greatest poet of Maharashtra. Learners, now we will understand about Kashmiri literature. The first Kashmiri poet was Lal Ded. Some other famous Kashmiri writers were Haba Khatun, Nand Rishi, and Dinanath Nadeem. All of them were Sufi poetry in Kashmiri language. Learners, now let us understand about Gujarati literature. Narsi Mehta was the greatest poet of Gujarati language. He wrote songs in praise of Lord Krishna. Another great writer of Gujarat was Dr. K. M. Munshi. He was a novelist and historian. He wrote many books, and one of his best novel is Prithvi Vallabha. Learners, it is important to note that Sindhi was one of the important center of Sufi saints. Some important writers of Sindhi language were Mirza Kalish Beg and Diwan Kauramal. Learners, we should remember that the Christian missionaries helped in the development of modern Indian languages. As they wrote many dictionaries in order to understand the meaning of the local languages. Another contribution in the missionaries was the printing press. The foreigners had established press for printing the Bible and other religious materials in local language for the benefit of Indians. However, the most important contribution of the missionaries was to open schools and colleges in different parts of the India. It is true that their main aim was to spread Christianity, but they also produced a new class of educated Indians who wanted to study different Indian languages and literature. Learners, there have been many good writers of English literature in India. Some of the famous writers were Michael Madhu Sudan Datta, another is Jawaharlal Nehru, and Sarojini Naidu, and Rabindranath Tagore. Learners, let us now revise this lesson. Number 1, we learnt about the development of Hindi language. Number 2, we also learnt about the development of Urdu and Persian languages. Number 3, we came to know about the literature of some important Indian languages like Hindi, Bengali, Assami, Oriya, Marathi, Gujarati, and Kashmiri. With this, we have come to the end of today's video. I hope you liked watching this video. If you have any query, you may send us your queries at signlanguage@nios.ac.in. For more information, please visit our website www.nios.ac.in. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.